it's you see the thing. It's coming at me from behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even notice that. It's like it's gonna hit me somehow. Like it's avoiding you, and it's just coming right into me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That is what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Which One of Us is Hot?
Hot Dogs Radio. Except we put an apostrophe on the S, so now it's just one dog who's hot, and then one's technically the radio.
Yeah. I think I'm the radio.
All right. I mean, I don't mind being the radio either. It's fine.
Do you mind like scooting to your left a little bit?
Yeah. Let's see. So my arm doesn't cut off.
Yeah, this is the only way that the rocket ship is working.
Yeah. Space-time is kind of an interesting thing. You only have so much space in a liminal time. So if you put your arm out this... Ah! Sorry. Oh.
Well, that's exactly what happened in... It wasn't Inception, but it was the guy who pretended like he had AIDS, and he says, all right.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know him.
He had this show where he was this old guy that lived at his parents' house, and his dad was a football player that was naked, and then the dad and the mom hired a lady to go to their house and to pretend to date him so they would move out of the house.
And this guy had AIDS.
Well, he pretended like he had AIDS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did he like get AIDS in the end?
It was a different movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Snowpiercer, where the guy like sticks his arm out of the thing, and then it freezes, and then they like pull it out and it like crumbles, and that's like the capital punishment if you like do something bad. Like they come in and they stick your arm out of the plane.
Yeah. So there was this other one where there was this girl, and she made this article saying how to make a guy break up with you. But she actually she was doing an experiment for a paper, like a magazine. So she was like, here's my real life example of how you make a guy break up with you.
She was testing to see if it works.
And she fell in love with the same guy.
Maybe that guy just sucks.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
Like imagine like she's doing the worst stuff and he's just like, I don't care. Like she slaps him in the face. Like, I don't know. Like just spills a drink all over him like multiple times. Not even like one time on accident. Like she just goes over the head as she walks to the bathroom, sits back down. All right, what are we having for dinner? He's like, the steak's fine.
So there was another one where he was a corn farmer, and there was a dust bowl, and they had to leave planet Earth, and what was the guy from Batman, the old guy?
Oh shoot!
The butler.
Yeah, Alfred. What?
So Alfred lied to this guy's daughter and said he's gonna come home, but basically he wasn't gonna come home. They had to leave Earth so that they could they could go into space, and like because there was the dust bowl and Earth was gonna die.
Interstellar.
Yeah.
I know that one.
It's like that because they had one where they touched the hands in between the dimensions.
Yeah.
Also, when they put their hands through gravity-infused time travel, he was able to push the books off the bookshelf.
At least I wouldn't try it personally if it was me. Because imagine like I'm always thinking of Snowpiercer and that time when like he sticks the arm goes out into a foreign environment. It's over. You don't have an arm anymore. If I'm looking at a portal, I'm thinking, when is it closing? Where is it going? What is the gravity like there? What does the physics look like in this reality? I stick my hand through, my hand goes... I'm like, oh, I pull it out. I don't have an arm anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that guy was thinking when he did that in that movie. I was even thinking to myself, I was ready for his arm to just crack, and that was it. And then it's done. And he's floating out there with like this weird, like, disfigured arm, limb, that's like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. It like spreads to, it's like a virus. Because like there's little like viruses on this other universe. I don't know, like, who does that?
I never saw that movie.
You never saw Interstellar?
No.
How do you know? How do you know about the bookshelf thing where he goes and he...
Oh, wait, you were waiting for his arm to break off? I thought you said the movie Snowpiercer.
No, that's just, his arm just freezes off then. I mean, I guess that you know what happens there, but a portal, I don't know what's over there. Maybe it's an Arctic wasteland. My arm freezes in like a millisecond.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah. Well, it was because of love, because love travels past all dimensions. I think that was the main theme of that movie.
Oh. So like it was the love that made it so that his arm didn't become a disfigured mess.
Well, yeah, maybe, but it was because of love that he was attempting, even though he was putting his arm into the unknown. Like, that's the whole idea. Like, I think his daughter's name was Rick, and he was basically like, Rick.
Trying to communicate with her, trying to Rick.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he knew that it was like an Earth dimension, so his arm would be like okay when he stuck it in there.
Maybe.
But at the same time, I don't know what it's traveling through. It could be traveling through some weird land, a weird place, little like alien goblins and stuff, and you don't know. They might be hungry.
Yep.
And then you're, oh.
Yeah, dude. But that was written by, the same guy. He did Interstellar and Inception. Same guy.
I bet that guy doesn't have an arm. He probably is sticking it in all sorts of places. He probably just like, oh. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy who had an arm in Interstellar. You're right. And I think Michael Caine might have been in that movie too. He's in a lot of those.
I'm just surprised that I thought it would look worse. I thought it would look like glitched out and stuff.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, are you gonna be able to do it?
I don't know if I can do it.
Wait, they're not gonna be able to. Can they see the water? That's the question.
Is the bottle still off screen?
I can't see that on the green screen. That's like no one will know the feat that you just pulled off. It was like
That was me pulling off my feet.
pulling off your feet.
Yeah. It was kind of odd being able to see ourselves on the screen.
It is, yeah. I remember we didn't do that in the original Not Your Cousin's podcast because it's kind of distracting. I have to admit it is.
Yeah. A lot of podcasts do have the monitor showing though, like especially if they're like actors. Like when you're acting, sometimes you can see the monitors. I guess we'd just get used to it.
Yeah, I guess some people do. I wonder if over time it gets better. You're just looking at yourself. I just don't like it because I feel like I'm not me anymore. Like I'm looking at somebody who's just playing a character.
Yeah. But dude, that's all life really is.
Yeah.
It's just characters, dude. There's the character that people like write for you that you kind of adopt early on, and then you get the chance, if you want, to kind of spruce up the narrative. But there's got to be a linear track that your narrative follows.
I want to talk to the writer. That's all I can say. I want to talk to the writing staff.
The original one?
Yeah, I want to talk to the writing staff. What's going on?
Yeah, well, the writing staff is like our ancestors and the culture, the American society.
I feel like the person who gets written like I don't want to say this, but now I have to say it. The person who got written cancer.
Who wrote that?
Yeah, that person's probably pretty mad at the writers. I'd be pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed.
Well,
I'd be demanding to talk to the writers.
Yeah.
I'd be punching the writers in the face.
Yeah.
Kicking them? Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, the cancer just might shorten somebody's life by a small percentage, but like it's inevitable that like it's just going to stop happening at some point, you know.
But it's ruining the movie. It's like, you know, like I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you know, this movie could have like a better ending, and then it's like, oh well, it's ruined. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone might say, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not ruined. It's not ruined, but maybe from that person's perspective, they're like, well, hey, this could have had.
Yeah.
I could have like, you know, planned a different ending here. Could have maybe had you know, a little bit of like
like they get hit by a train or something.
Yeah, like something like they jump off a cliff and they're like, have you heard about? Okay, this is a little bit off topic, but on topic. Did you hear about the guy? I think he found out that he had some form of cancer, and it was one where like it's like really short, like you can't live very long after it. Like it's a pretty like tight deadline. This guy,
he just started running. Is that the guy?
No, he goes up in a plane and says like, you know, to the pilot, I wanna go skydive.
Yeah.
They're up in the air, right? The guy thinks like, it's like, oh, he's gonna take like the parachute. He doesn't. He just jumps out. And he hits the water.
And he survives.
Yes, he lives.
But he's in a body cast.
Yeah, I don't know what condition, but it was pretty bad. Like he broke a ton of bones in his body. He was in the hospital, and the guy thought he was going out like just, you know, probably like a legend. He thought he's like I'm done. I'm not. I can't do this anymore. And he jumps out. Can you imagine the pilot too? The pilot's like, oh no, you don't have it. You don't have it on yet.
Yeah.
He's like, holy. Yeah.
That's almost worse for the pilot, like that he survived.
Yeah, probably mentally scarred the pilot too. Like, imagine like in that moment you think like, oh my god, this guy didn't know. Like I was supposed to tell him that he's got to have the parachute. Just goes off.
Yeah, but I think so. There's the writing of the narrative, but there's also like other movies playing out at the same time, right? And in some of those other movies, there is the ability for people to change the set for the film of each individual person. So some of the people now who have written their own story have created cancer causing sets for other people's stories. So it's not as much that there's a bad writer where the cancer gets involved. It's that there's a selfish writer in someone else's story.
What if the set designers too, like, they could mess up? Imagine they put a misstep somewhere, like they put it's a little bit too short.
Yeah.
The person goes and like falls down the steps.
Yeah.
And then I'd be pissed at the set designers too. You know, now what if the writers were like, someone's gonna shoot him when he comes down those steps, and the set designer's like, I just made it a little bit short, and then he just falls down.
He fell, and then they couldn't shoot him.
Yeah, but then the writer's like, well, we adapted the script for that. He just points the gun down and shoots him, and then now the person's mad at so many different people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just were working together, making it the worst experience.
Yeah, I guess when you write your own story to the point where you can start, like, not everyone can be a set designer, but if like, yeah, there's a threshold you have to pass to become a set designer.
There is like, that would mean that there'd be a master writer though, because the master writer would be able to be like a guy with a gun comes and he finds you, and you're like, no. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, he found you. He already knows your location. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, he's already outside of your house. I mean, I guess at that point, like, it's a gun showdown, you know? But then the master writer's like, an atomic bomb drops on your house. And you're like, oh, damn it. What the hell?
Yeah, you gotta be a pretty high tier to have atomic bombs and to hire hitmen. But yeah, it's a sad reality that there are hitmen.
Yeah.
Yep.
And atomic bombs.
And hit women, too.
And hit women, yeah.
Yep.
But don't hit women.
Yeah. But, like, there's, like, Alicia Keys and Katy Perry.
Of course, a legendary...
Dua Lipa.
Yeah. Assassins.
Yeah. Oh, you know who's got a big assassin? Ariana Grande.
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Have you ever seen well, we remade the video where it's like missile boobs.
Missile boobs?
Yeah, missile boobs.
Who's we?
Well, you remember the podcast, right? Like it's the music video where like she has missile boobs and she shoots them.
I remember now.
Yeah. So it's not even like that far off. It's, I mean, if someone is walking around with
we redid the video.
Well, we didn't really redo it, but I mean, it was enough to where like we broke it down. You know, we did a breakdown. It was a video breakdown. It was possibly going to be a remake, but the breakdown was good. It was good.
Yeah.
So I learned that some women have atomic missiles attached to their breasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I learned.
It's the breast.
Mr. Breast. Mm-hmm. He's in controversy right now, Mr. Breast.
I haven't been there. What country is controversy in?
It's in
It's got to be in France.
Yeah, with the Olympics, I could imagine. I can imagine it.
Controversy.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Breast, and today we're gonna be doing an Olympic game challenge where you have to light your friend on fire for $500,000.
Do you like my thin mustache and my wine?
Oh, I have too many lawsuits going on. I gotta get out of here. I actually don't know if he has. He hired a lawyer. I don't know if he actually. I'm not up to date with the drama there. I think he hired a lawyer, but I don't think there's any lawsuits happening. But there could be. I don't know.
I'm not knowing. How you couldn't tell by my outrageous accent. I something you a second time. And your father smelled of elderberries.
If there was a French person here, I'd ask them, why do they like baguettes so much?
Yeah.
Why that specific kind of bread? Like, do you know, like, channeling the French?
Baguette. It's because we are like cigarettes. It's the shape of a cigarette, but bigger.
I'd actually buy that.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yes. We French are second in healthcare in the world.
Are they really? Oh, that's really good.
We drink like crazy. We smoke like crazy. We fuck like crazy.
Maybe that's it's the life extension. That's it. It cancels out the smoking and the drinking.
Yeah. I became Estonian there for a second.
Maybe they do that too.
We fuck like crazy. But yeah, the French number 2 in U.S. health in healthcare, where U.S. is in the it's close to 200.
Oh, we're bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very bad.
Yeah. I mean, we just listed all of the assassins. Of course, we're bad. But on another note, we're horrible in healthcare rankings.
You know what I recommend? Again, like you were saying, smoke more, drink more, fuck more. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Americans will be fine. Especially, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. What one of my teachers told me, that's where I learned about this. He always said, they smoke, they drink, they eat, and they're thin as rails. The French, there's not too many obese French. And he said it was because they do this thing where they have just immaculate dinners every night. And they spend 2 hours drinking and eating. And it's they're cherishing the food. Mm. And so, Americans since the 60s, TV trade dinner, oh, let's throw on this thing, let's eat. Or you go out to a restaurant, the eating portion might be 15 minutes. It's crazy. It's just dang, 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 dang. And the mastication, the food, you go like this, it breaks up but also the saliva gets infused more and more when you chew. That's where digestion starts, is in the mouth.
You know, I'm guilty of this, but partially environmental reasons. Like, I'm going to class, right? I'm trying to hurry.
Yeah.
I'm eating. I'm just eating on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm literally, like, looking at the time. Running out to my car looking like a wild animal.
Yeah,
you know, like,
mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the American way. It's the quintessential American way. Like, even with work,
Yeah.
too. It's like, all right, Jim, take your lunch break. Be back here soon. There's a nice little sandwich shop down. Why don't you go shove that down your pie hole? It's like, all right. He's running down the streets in New York grabbing the sandwich. I mean, of course, he's angry, too. He's, like, screaming at the, hey, give me my fucking sandwich. Why the fuck you taking so long? He's, like, shoving people out of the way, choking it down. The French wouldn't even have it.
Environmental reasons? I'm confused.
It's the environment, you know? If you got a 30-minute lunch break, you're taking a 30-minute lunch break, and you're hogging down.
That's the set,
food you're
that's
eating.
the set designer's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta have a talk with that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll never know who he is.
I guess I won't. But you know what? I do take time with my dinners.
Mm-hmm.
That's my time. I can eat my dinner and I can enjoy it. So.
African swallow wing speed velocity.
Toy boat.
Red
shit was slow.
leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore.
Bloody Beetles beat beans. Bloody Beetles beat beans. Bloody Beetles beat beans.
Did you make that one up?
I know there's a Beatles one.
I like the beans.
Blood.
I thought we were going to say butts.
Bloody Beetle butts. Beans. That's hard to say. Bloody Beetles butt beans.
But
Bloody Beetle butts beans.
Bloody beetle butts beans.
Bloody bingo butt beans. Bloody Beetle butt. We are the French and we love to eat the McDonald's.
I've never had a McDonald's.
It,
Well, I've had McDonald's, but I've never had it in France.
yeah.
I've had it in Amsterdam. I've had it in Amsterdam,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, I have to admit, it tastes better.
Yeah.
It's better. I don't even know how to describe it. Did you know that even like the French McDonald's, they have like you were saying, they make it like a meal. It's an actual plate, and it's partially because they wanted to get rid of plastic. But the French, they just like having like they're like, I want a real plate. Don't put it in the styrofoam.
Yeah.
Give it to me on plate.
No box. Yeah, I lost my French accent. It is very good for you. It's just it's so easy to go. It's so good for you because I am in the house. It's not very good for George, you know? Like, that's so easy.
Yeah.
The French, I like my cigarette with the bigot.
That's good. That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad. It's not the worst.
It's horrible.
I could tell that it's French at least. Like I feel like French can easily turn into any sort of other accent. It can easily morph into it, you know?
But I thought I was nailing it before. And your father smelled of elderberries.
That sounded a little bit British at the end there. I have to say, that sounded a little bit. Maybe because elderberries.
I taunt
is
you
British.
a second time. And your father smelled of elderberries. That's definitely British.
Yeah, I think the elderberries is a
Elderberries.
very like British word to like elderberry. Like it's a very like.
Yeah, but they had that in Monty Python. It was a French guy. I was quoting the French guy.
You know, maybe that's why. Maybe
Before
Monty Python.
Taunt you
British.
a second time. It could have just been a French guy playing an English guy playing a French guy.
It could have been. It could have been.
He looked pretty French. My thin mustache. Yep, it came and went.
The British, at least. I mean, beans on toast and
This.
God, I can't even like mushy peas. Who's eating mushy peas? Who's eating mushy peas? And and then they put it like, imagine like the fish and chips, great. All right, the little side of coleslaw, great, fantastic. I'm happy you guys made that. But the beans on toast? Beans on toast. No, get that away from me. And like mushy peas. Why not just eat regular peas? Why did you mush? Who mushed them up?
Yeah.
Who mushed them into a paste and said, "Oh yeah, I love a mushy pea." Who did that?
Dude.
And then they put it on top of the fries? What? Get that off of the fries. Don't put that anywhere near the French fries.
It's a sad, sad place. They're making the best of it. It is so sad in England. It's raining all the time. It's on an island. Like, before they had airplanes, dude, imagine like the nightmare of importing good food. It's just a shitty place, dude. And it just happened to be one of the most powerful dynasties.
But how'd they do the fish and chips? That's my question. How did you do it? How did you do the fish and chips?
They stole
everything else you just said.
They stole it.
They stole curry. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, curry, it's our national dish. We love curry." It's not yours. You took it from India. You can't claim that. Tea, we always ate tea in England. That's not yours. You stole that from India too.
Yeah, exactly.
In China.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like they're like, that's the national dish. It's not the national dish. Your national dish is mushy peas and beans on toast. And fish and chips, that's great. Again, great creation. I love that. You should have done more of that. You should have done more fish and chips.
Yeah. Well, they might have made it themselves. Like, I think they stole the fried fish from like American, but
they might have.
They have fish there, right? It's an island. They can fish. They stole the potatoes from Ireland. Fish and chips.
You're right. You know what? Funny enough, they did steal the potatoes from Ireland. You're right.
Uh-huh.
You're right. That's crazy. Like, they're stealing everything.
Yep. And the guy Henry, he killed a lot of his wives.
Maybe he was so angry because, like, back then they weren't importing any of the spices, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that guy just was so mad.
They were horrible
cooks.
It was
so bland. Yeah, everything was bland that he was eating. He was getting like, just salt and pepper all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And even the pepper, like, if they put too much, he's like, "Oh, it's spicy, it's too much." And then they're like, "Okay, well, sir, we only have salt." And then
I think when he was, pillaging all of Europe and Africa and Asia, he tasted some of that food, and then he came home. He had his first meal. This is the first wife he killed. Just bland. Maybe it was like meat, just straight up meat by itself, no sides or anything. Beheading. He for some reason he had this already set up where if he just snaps like while they're eating dinner, the guy, like, the guy who was set to kill what's the Buckbeak, he was gonna behead Buckbeak.
Yeah,
it was the same guy. He just comes and he just cuts the wife's head off.
Right, whenever he snaps his fingers,
right,
in pure rage,
and then the blood from the carotid artery shoots out onto her plate and spills down the side of the tablecloth.
Damn.
Yeah.
Reminds him of like the tomato sauce he had in Italy when he was visiting a diplomatic mission. Yes. Maybe because he wasn't on good terms with the Pope, right? In Vatican. Yeah. So maybe he went on like a little like a diplomatic visit, and he was eating the food, and then the Pope was like, "You can never come back here ever again." And he was like, "Oh, I can't believe this. I loved having my pizza," and he like got so mad, and he just like he always yearned for the pizza. You couldn't have it, and you can't import that because it's too bad. It's not an importing time. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so funny how your King Henry VIII is a pirate.
He does kind of sound like a pirate. I mean, he was like, I don't know if they were pillaging quite yet. If they went on the colonial expansion during the Henry times, but they had some wars with some conflict with France, I think, if I remember correctly.
Dude, but
they were like, he could have been a little bit of piratey. He could have.
Dude, but he had like one of those. It was one of those ties, but it wasn't a tie. It like frilled out here.
Oh,
And he
like
had a
one of
wi-
those like weird.
He
like,
definitely
old
had a
suits.
wig, so he's not sounding like, "Oh, give me the marinara sauce, mate.
Maybe
Parlay." He's more like, "I love to eat marinara sauce."
he might have like. What if he got angry? Like, what if it started off as, "Oh, I love my tea and crumpets. I just really get angry sometimes." Like he just gets drops the ball.
Sometimes. Yeah, no, there's no chance. I'm sorry.
That was his angry voice. He let his guard down. Like he always is like being polite and always trying to act like he's the nice king. And then sometimes he just like the voice just comes out and people are like, "Oh my god, sounds like a pirate."
Get her out of here forever. Oh, what? I love the Pope. He's fantastic. I'm starting my own religion.
It's like Game of Thrones and
The whole like color palette of the show changes like when he goes into that mood. Like lots of dark like colors and.
Yeah. But the intro is bland because it's like that's where his anger comes from. Is that like everything's bland?
Yeah.
And so it's just like
It's
that's
like
the
earth
thing.
tones at first and like
Yeah.
just dull colors. It's like bright and then all of a sudden it's like just this vibrant violence.
Then it'll cut to like the French and because like you have the different families and then you have the French family and it would be a little bit more colorful in the baguettes and maybe like you'd even have I know they weren't smoking at the time but it would be really funny if you just had like like guilty and like throwing it away on the camera when they show the French. It's all the stereotypes combined of all the different countries. Like you have like the Germans doing some weird stuff, some like weird stuff where you're like, oh hey, it's like no, get that off the screen, and then you have the Italians that are like having an argument with their hands are like this. I'm very mad right now, and then you have all the different stereotypes come together in this intro screen.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Henry. I think by the fourth wife that he killed, like he goes on a date for his fifth wife, and she already knows. Like, she already knows. Hey, you know what? I'm probably gonna get beheaded here, unless somehow they kept that from the public. But I doubt it. So she's basically like, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna have 2 years where I'm like the queen, you know?
Luxury life. You can make the most of it.
Yeah, and it's just crazy that actually is like something that somebody could have been was like the queen, you know? Like imagine being a monarch.
Be crazy.
It would be insane. You just get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Literally.
And you have like just a room full of people that just like scrub your feet every day. you just like I want those toes. I don't know why the queen would sound like that, but I want those toes nice and scrubbed. Like a deep southern tone.
Yeah. Well, they did say that the Queen of England had a penis.
She could have. You never know.
And she died from wearing makeup.
Dysentery.
The makeup had it was toxic.
Oh.
It was like arsenic. You know how they like powder their faces white?
Yeah.
It the poison leached into her skin and she died.
Damn. That's probably like one of the first like imagine the whole public they had like lead in their walls. Like that was I think during the Renaissance time there were so many products that were just really bad and there was nothing you could do. Like there would be like chips in bread, like little wood chips and cement pieces. People would like bite into bread and it'd, like bust a tooth.
Yeah.
Like the public was like, "Oh god."
Oh, people would be breaking shit all the time. There's no real good dentist or anything.
Yeah. And imagine you're living in your house. Like people would go mad because they'd live in these like lead houses, but they wouldn't know, and they'd be going insane in these houses, and people would be like, "Oh, he's gone mad. I'm afraid we have to put him down in the mental institution. We don't know what happened to him. No, look at the walls here. It's terrible. He never got them fixed." It's like, guy's dying of lead poisoning. He's
Yeah.
not doing too good.
Yeah, dude. History. Dinosaurs. King of England.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. That lady, the queen that died of the arsenic poisoning in the makeup, deserved it. Probably the first monarch to have a casualty out of a lot of the whole England public. You know, they're living under these harsh conditions. Probably so many different people. You know, like of course, only the elites are probably wearing the makeup. But I mean, look at all the other products, all these other things that are being sold to the public, and then the Queen dies of makeup. I'd be like, good.
Yeah.
I'd be like, maybe you should do something about it then, huh? Maybe you don't like it so much when you know you got weird stuff in your makeup. Maybe you don't like that. Imagine it in your food and your walls, you know, and your kids' toys. You know, your little Jimmy died last week because someone had to put some weird chemical inside of his little toy soldier. Everyone knows Timmy puts that in his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, makeup is so interesting. I'm just gonna say it now. It used to be just clowns that would wear makeup, you know? And now some people think they're looking sexy and they look like clowns. And there's some people think that they look like clowns and they're actually sexy. And it's just interesting now, like it's genetics, right? There's like attraction, there's like aesthetics. And now what we have in our society is clown makeup that people can use to look more attractive.
Padme
what?
Like from Star Wars, it's like the Padme look.
Well,
you know how like she would like do the like the Queen kind of like, you know, the
yeah.
white makeup and
Yeah, well, so but also I'm not saying like actual clown makeup, but it's like these people, when they take their makeup off, they don't look like that. They don't even look close to that. Dude, you see some people without makeup, you're like, who are you? You know? The makeup can change the color of their face. They can change, like with dark makeup here, they can make look like they have contours in their face that aren't even there. It's an illusion. And so like on one hand it's like, okay, this is where we are right now, and you want somebody that's gonna have the skill of, so it's like it takes artistic skill to make yourself look more attractive, right? People have makeup artists for that reason, because they want to look good. But somebody who can paint their own face and make them look hotter, it might not do the same thing genetically speaking, but socially speaking, it has like they have the skill that they've adapted to the modern times, and they've learned to paint their face in a certain way that like more people like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really happy. That's not a standard for guys. I'm happy I don't have to do that, because I wouldn't want to. I already like getting up in the morning. I can't. Like, I'll be honest, I just can't. Like, getting up in the morning is already like a huge thing for me, and I gotta go like that. I gotta get to class. I'm just brushing my hair. I'm making sure my beard is trimmed, and that's it. And then I'm out. And again, like I told you, I'm like eating my food, trying to make it on time.
Right.
I can't be having that. I can't. I just can't. You know.
Yeah.
I can't.
But yeah, I mean, there's different rules, but these people, often women, and the makeup is getting better and better. So it's like they're getting better and better tools. You know, the set designers creating makeup. They are painting their face, and then they are going out, and like sometimes we know people are wearing makeup, but sometimes it's like, dude, people don't have black lines around their eyes.
No,
people
don't. Are really good at, like, you know, making sure it blends in, making.
No, I'm saying like we've accepted like eyeliner as okay.
Yeah.
But that's not what people look like. So they became face painters.
Yeah, and it's crazy because there's a lot of people who know how to do makeup really well, to the point where it doesn't. Because I mean, I don't know. Look, I don't know what it's like, what it entails putting on makeup. But I'm imagining it takes time, right? Like in the morning, it's taking a lot of time to get it right, to do it just right, right? And so I'm thinking. I don't know. That's like that is a skill, you know, that a lot of people like. Imagine how many people in the world have that skill, because like so many women put on makeup every day in the morning. That's just a skill that like almost possibly half of the population just knows how to do.
Yeah, they just paint their face, dude. I mean, it's like, yeah, and then they put something and it hits their face, like, and it can like mess up their makeup, or when they cry, like it can mess up like their eyeliner, like.
That's why you get the waterproof. They invented the waterproof stuff, you know.
And then it's hard to clean. So
Yeah,
I mean, shout out to people that wear makeup. I just think it's just commentary on today's, on the what's occurring.
Yeah, I mean, also whatever you want to do too. I mean, like, if that's what makes you happy, do it. That's my that sounds like such a dumb. I hate that. What a dumb thing to say. What a stupid thing to say. And imagine, whatever makes you. You know, when people say like something that like is just like it's just too good of a sentence where it's like, yeah, no duh, like, yeah, everyone should just do what they want to do, you know. And it's like, yeah, of course, so, you know, unless there's people, well, there are people out there, I guess, who are like, no, I don't like, everyone has to do it like that, you know.
Yeah, my friend Tom Skoog, he told me this word trite. I think that describes trite. It's like a cliche. It's kind of like overplayed, but it's also kind of just like clearly fake. It's like it's so like, you know, like the McDonald's slogan, "I'm loving it."
Yeah.
So fake.
Definitely. Yeah.
Trite.
Unless you are loving it.
Well, the French are loving it, but American, I'm loving it.
I think it's like
because in French it's I'm loving it.
Yeah, and then Italian, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But it can be honest and dishonest at the same time if you think about it, because someone could say, "Oh, I'm loving it," and then later could be like, "Oh, I'm not loving that anymore."
That's a bad slogan though for a fast food restaurant.
Yeah, that's why the other part is like quiet. I don't even know if the mic picked me up. They don't even know what I said. I just whispered it a little quietly. I'm loving it. Eventually, it just progresses. Yeah, like over the years. Imagine, like, then 10 years later.
I'm loving it. Why? Hey, did someone say chocolate?
That's like a smoker. That's like the person who's eating the hamburgers and is like smoking out of their car as they're going to work in the morning. I've seen in the cars sometimes. Have you ever seen someone who like is like who's like a is like switching back and forth? That's like, man, that's all the vices all together. All that person needs is like a little like cocktail in the driver's seat and like drinking back, eating a hamburger, smoking out the window, chain smoking. Not even like, don't even roll down the windows. The windows stay rolled up. He infuses it with the burger. He gets the meat all like, you know,
he smokes onto the meat.
Yeah, he flicks some of the ash into the cocktail.
Yeah,
throws it down.
That's a new way to make smoked brisket. You just puff the cigarette.
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea of having a syringe filled with heroin, but it has like this little attachment where you can put a cigarette on there too. Yeah. So while you're driving, you can smoke the cigarette and then have the arm that's driving and then inject into your arm.
I like that. That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, a little like holder for it, so you can like, you know, then just easily go back and forth.
Yeah, it's all in one thing, and then you have to have a way to heat up the heroin, right? Because you have to burn it on a spoon.
Yeah.
So there's another attachment that has a spoon on it, and then you take the cigarette lighter from the car, ironically, put it onto the spoon drains into the syringe, take the puffs, hit the magic juice. 18 fatalities on the road.
Yeah. You know, that's a great name for it. 18 fatalities is what you call it. Kind of like the I'm trying to think of the wine, the something crimes, Snoop Dogg wine.
Snoop Dogg wine, 13 Crime.
Yeah, 13 Crimes. It's actually pretty good. It's a great wine. But no, yeah, you call it 18 motor vehicle homicides or something, and then you also attach, because like the problem is that I think the main problem with this device is that the heroin is a downer, and I think there's gonna like they'll fall asleep. You have a little cocaine tray, and they you get some back and awake on the road, and then you're only killing maybe like I'd estimate maybe 15 instead of 18.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe you could have like this gel that you put on your forearm that you can put the cocaine dust on. It's the gel is slightly toxic, but it's really good adhesive for the cocaine.
Yeah.
So you can do cigarette lighter, burn, light, drain, smoke, snort first, then inject.
Oh, because you're getting too excited now. Like now you're getting pumped, and then
Right.
you just.
But the snorting, it's slightly toxic, so the gel goes in your nose, and like, too much of that will kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the idea.
Or
You're
the-
at one of the 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 15.
Yeah.
I'm the 13th son of the 13th son.
That's right. I want to make an announcement too. I'm not actually. I don't know if this even shows up on full screen, but I'm not actually drinking Life water. I'm not a phony. Okay. This is just filtered tap water, but this is just water from the house.
It's reverse osmosis water.
Yeah, it's not Life water. But I did at one point drink the Life water. I have to be honest. I did buy it and drink it, and then I refilled the bottle. So I did at one point in my life drink a Life water.
Yeah, dude, I'm just thinking about this guy. It's crazy.
What guy?
Well, there's basically like there's the track. You're on the track, you know. Most people are on the track, especially if they're not writing their own story. They're on the track, right? And then there's people who could do a different track. They're writing their own story. The thing about writing your own story is there's gonna be less people that might like that narrative, you know, because it's, you know, self-developed. It's not always drawing on like the limited plots that you can choose from, you know, a base standardized story. So when you're going over here, there's like different ones, different stories, and then you like can meet other people and you can be friends with them, but you don't always like believe them, like all their stuff that they say. So I'm just thinking about this guy that I met recently, and like, hey, we're writing our own stories, that's cool, and then he's like saying this stuff about if you do this in the body, this happens, and I don't believe him. But that doesn't mean I don't want to talk to him, you know?
Okay, yeah. Is he like, what did he say? Like, what is he saying? Like, because when you say like he's saying to do some stuff, like he's like you should do this to your body. My mind's just thinking like, you know, like what is he saying like, oh, you should go and like be shoving your head in a beehive or something. And that's really good. It's great. Love that.
No, he's basically saying like
Put bees up your butt. Like I don't know like what this guy is thinking. I just
all bee related ideas you have.
yeah.
So he's saying if you want, so basically there's the pH of your body, right? pH stands for potential hydrogen. More hydrogen means more acidic. So like lemonade is like more hydrogen, and like bleach is like way less hydrogen, right? There's a spectrum 1 to 14. He's saying if you want to have a higher pH, you should drink acidic things.
So like apple cider vinegar or something like
Well, like lemon juice.
how much?
Not like a lot, but some.
Because like I'll have like a lemonade every now and then, or like maybe
but like straight pure like consume one lemon.
well, okay. I mean, like, isn't that like people will like cut up lemons and put sugar on them?
Yeah.
Isn't that like that's the thing where it's like I can't remember where this is from, but it's like a girly snack or something, or a girly dinner, and it's like just lemons with like sugar on them. Basically, just an anorexic joke. that's all it is.
They used to have this thing where they would have the basic girls and they would make the noise.
Why? Why would they like?
I don't know.
Is that a cat noise? Is that supposed to imply?
I don't know. This was about 5 years ago, and maybe 6 years ago, and they were doing that in like 6th grade, and I was like, stop.
That is weird. That's strange. Why was that trend stemming from? Like, what was the basis of that?
Yeah. Well, I think it was just there's the basic girls, dude. You just make fun of stereotypes. It's just kind of what happens.
Yeah, but who's doing that? If someone does that to me, I'm like, that's a mentally ill person.
I'm so pretty.
I'd be like, that person has to. We have to.
Yeah, she's obviously
that person has to go away. Yeah,
uh-huh.
She's obviously eating lemons every day, and
yeah.
her mind isn't functioning, so she's going. It's like, oh my god, what's happened to our daughter? She's only eating lemons.
Yeah.
You need to
Mm-hmm.
something else in the diet, anything.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he said that, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But I'm kind of just getting better at saying what I believe without it being like, you're wrong, you know? I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're saying that it's people. They're saying that it's so dependent on like tone of voice and like body language, you know? And like I focused so much on the like the letters and the words for a long time because like these words and phrases like have like this ability to like manipulate your perception of what's happening, like depending on what words you use when you're thinking and like, you know, questions you can ask yourself. So like I kind of like formulated like, oh, this is kind of like the subset of words that I want to use. But then when I was using them on people, they were like thinking I was like being confrontational. They're like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And like I'm just coming from the place that like, hey, if we're having a conversation, like that's cool. Like we're on the same page. I'm not trying to like fuck with you. But like this one time I was like giving this presentation and then I always ask the audience questions and they're like, I said, hey, like, do you remember what the, can you infer which direction that the lung is directing the chi? And she was like, oh, I think it's down. And I was like, okay, what's your evidence? Like, we're on the same team. Like, in my head, we've already established that. And to her, she's like, kind of like, she went like this. Like, she thought that was like attacking her.
Mm.
But like, it's just, I just want to develop this shorthand. It's like, okay, this is the least amount of energy for me to expend to get this answer. I'm doing this presentation. I got to do all this shit, okay? Like, bleep her name. But, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's easy for things to get like lost in communication a lot. I think that happens to everybody. I think that's like a pretty consistent thing because, I mean, like tone and language is so complicated that sometimes someone might infer something that you don't mean to, you know, get across to them.
Yeah.
So, I think it's like I don't think that will ever stop happening because it happens to me sometimes too. In fact, sometimes even I'm probably the source of like a miscommunication from someone else. Like I'll walk past somebody, be like, was that person like staring at me? I feel I hate when that happens, and I try to get myself not to do that because I don't know.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll be walking and like I don't like people who like. And maybe I do this too, and I think I might. I who knows? But like, I don't like people who are like too like skittish and like some people are just weird when you walk past them. I don't know how to describe it. Some people are like, it's fine, it's good. You know, like there's like different types. There's like the ignore walk. There's like the like there's like the like, oh, you just make eye contact and then you like look away. And then there's the person who's like shifting, like he was like. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't do that. Like that for some reason, like whenever someone's like weird about it and they have like an expression on their face that's kind of like weird too, like almost like it's like skittish. I'm like, what's going on? Why? Like, and then it makes me nervous. Like that, like it's almost like someone has just like thrown like an anxiety bomb at me. I don't know if this happens to anybody else, by the way. I don't know if anyone else picks up on sometimes like weird signals whenever they're like walking around in public. There's like just like weird. Like, if you just look, maybe I'm looking at people. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe most people just, like, are like, I don't look at anyone that I don't know. But sometimes I'm looking around. I'm seeing, like, my environment. I'm taking it in.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, this is, like, I don't know. There's something weird going on. I don't like this. And then it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes. Just sometimes.
So that has nothing to do with communication.
But that's what I mean by, like, signals. Even, like, they haven't said anything, right? But, like, you can even pick that up just from, like, a look, right? Or you can even pick that up from, like, you're checking out, like, you're on the phone, right? And someone, like, sounds just like... There was someone who sounded really mean, like, on the phone recently. I was, like, talking to somebody in, like, customer service, and they just sounded... He sounded so mad and angry. But I just, like... And I decided to, like, stay nice, right? Because, like, I was like, alright, this person probably had a shitty day. I tried, right? And just, like, continuously... still sounded mean towards the end. But I don't know. That person might have been just, like, having a bad day. Didn't mean anything by me. But if I didn't know any better, I'd be like, this person hates me. Like, is just mad for no reason. Just that I called.
Yeah. Yeah. So then it's just... I guess I'm learning what the tonal part of it. Like, I can just say the same words, but like be delivering it in a different way, and people have like a completely different response. And then it's like, okay, this is cool. Like I can do something different, but like what's performance and what's like authentic? You know, like. You can like keep somebody's attention, but like yeah, what is part of like it's the same thing, like what is part of like who I am, like on a fundamental level, and what can I let go of that's part of like somebody else's story that they wrote for me. You know what I'm saying? Like people can change a lot, and that's great, and like I just don't like, you know, it's like what's your like core, like what's a real personality trait and what's just like some skill you haven't developed yet.
I see. I don't think you can actually like scrub all of those out necessarily though. Like all the like if you're talking about like influences, even like growing up, even to a certain degree, like what is it? Like biological influences, just like your surroundings, where you're living, right? I think those things, there's certain components, like you can't necessarily scrub them clean. There's always going to be like some kind of influence lingering around. It's impossible to get rid of. You can like, you know, make your own self, you know, you of course like over time, but there's still going to be those factors, you know, just hanging around there.
Yeah. I don't know what is like it takes effort to do new things, to learn new things. It takes attention to be aware of when things change, and like yeah, you just are in this experience, and then you're saying, okay, people think I'm being confrontational when I don't have the intent to. Am I around the wrong people, or do I need to learn a skill?
I think that'll never stop, though. I think, like, if you do that too much, you could drive yourself insane because there's so many instances of miscommunication that can occur within a lifetime.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just is a miscommunication and there's nothing that can, like,
But
be done to avoid it.
It's repeated.
Oh, it's like a trend that you see, like, over and over again happening.
Yeah, like, people don't want to talk to me because they think I'm being aggressive when I'm not trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, I guess if that's something that you hear a lot, then I guess that is something of note.
Well, yeah,
Something
I
noteworthy,
hear
I
that.
guess.
I hear that, and I witness it.
I don't know. You could always like, it's weird to ask somebody like why, like, but you could. I guess you could, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess there's like skills you can learn, but then again, at the same time, yeah, I don't know. There's some people, you know, like, who I'm trying to think. There's some people who just have, like, they call it, I think, resting bitch face.
Yeah.
And that's, like, something that I think some people are like, oh, they just can't change it. But then, like, they'll complain and they'll say, like, oh, people, like, they won't approach me. And it's, like, this thing where, like, they'll try to, like, even work on it. And even sometimes I think I might have, like, even, like, a resting face that's, like, I don't even want to think about my resting face sometimes. Like, it scares me to think about my resting face. Because I'm like, what if my resting face, like, I'll be sitting sometimes somewhere, like, and I'm not talking to somebody, so there's no, like, expression on my face. And I'll think to myself, I'll be like, what expression? I'll panic. It makes me nervous. It actually, like, and I'll be like, what does my resting face look like? Do I look like I'm mad? Do I look like I'm, like, lost? Like, what's the look on my face? So I think, like, that's something that's natural, like, thinking about that. If something is reoccurring, I don't know, like, you can try to change it, but you don't have to. I mean, like,
I don't know.
Your friends are going to be your friends regardless, and they know, and, you know, they know who you are at the end of the day. And if they think you're being confrontational, maybe that gives off the wrong signal. But if they say something, then, you know, at least there's communication happening.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, often after the fact, I hear, like, once people get to know me later, they're like, oh, like, there's a woman who told me that she was scared of me for a while. It's just funny. And, like, this guy that I was in college with, like, we were in the frat together, and I had just come out of the shower, like, going back into a room. We all shared a room, right? There was 30 of us in one room. He slapped me on the ass, and I looked him dead in the eyes as a joke, right? Just dead pan comedy. I said, never do that again. And he was scared of me for weeks after that.
Oh my god. Okay, well that can, like, I could see,
that's
like,
funny though.
That is funny, especially like after the fact. I'm sure he laughed after he got to know you, right?
Dude,
That's
took
probably
him months.
what's funny.
It took him months though.
But did he laugh afterwards? That's like the long form joke. That's
I don't
like
know.
the 3 months. That's like,
I don't know if he laughed. I just think he kind of, like, caught on, and that's part of it. Like, my favorite comedian Rick Glassman talks about this, where he doesn't want to wink at the audience. He doesn't want to, like, say I'm joking after he tells a joke. He wants people. He can hint at it, but he wants people to, like, get on board, so that you can be playing the game together without, like, explicitly defining, like, the rules of the game. And the game for me is sometimes, look, I think a lot of this stuff we're doing is, like, really mundane. Let me play this character where I say stuff confidently and directly, and I'm not serious. That's a joke. But my joke makes people think that I'm serious.
I think that it's unescapable with certain jokes. With some jokes, it'll be unescapable. Someone's going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
There's going to be somebody who, you know, doesn't get it at first. It gets lost in communication. And that's just, like, there's no way to fix that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
But see, it's a funny story, though. And that guy later, he realized, you know, like, the people who become your friends will learn.
Yeah.
We'll learn eventually, you know?
Yeah.
I guess, like, if you think about it too much, that it can just make you constantly reevaluating things. And I'm giving this advice when I do that myself. I evaluate things too much all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like looking at, like, I don't know, like if that's a normal thing to do, looking at like other like people, but maybe I'm just on the spectrum or something, like looking around. Oh man, what's this guy doing? Like who does that? But maybe some people do. I don't know. But if you overthink things, then you end up like me.
Oh, dude, I always just cross the street when I'm about to walk by people, and so I think we're in the same boat.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to like. Dude, I'm on my walk. I'm just like walking. I'm thinking about stuff. Seeing the sights. Like, I don't want to walk by somebody on the sidewalk and then be like. Just do the whole dance of like, okay, am I gonna look at them or not? Are they gonna look at me? Should I smile? I'm just crossing the street.
Yeah.
I'm walking in the street if I can't cross the street. If I want to stay on that sidewalk, I walk. Oftentimes where I'm walking, there's a sidewalk, a little grassy area, a car, and then this like a car parking, and then there's like street parking there. I'll walk on the other side of the car, and then walk back on the sidewalk. Just so it's like this. I don't have to think about that. They don't have to think about it.
But see, here's what I think sometimes.
Yeah.
And also, well, this is a two-parter, because sometimes what I'll think is I'll be like, what if they think that I don't like them?
Yeah.
Right? I'll think about that.
I don't.
See, I think about that. I do. And then there's this part.
I don't like them.
Where I walk. Oh, you don't?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But let me ask you this. Here's a challenge. I'm going to throw a wrench in it, because this is something that I face.
Yeah.
What if there's not a sidewalk on the other side of the street? There's a place. I go on my little routine walk where, like, I was living. I guess I've moved now, but where I was living, and there's no sidewalk. It just disappears. It goes away, and you have to walk on that side of the street.
Yeah, I would walk into the road, so it wasn't like we have to do a dance where it's like, hey, there's like this tree here, so I'm gonna have to stand here for a little bit while you walk by.
A car's coming.
I would wait for the car to pass and then go on the street.
What if there's two cars coming? What if there's like it's a conga line of cars?
Then I don't even look at them. I look at the ground and I walk past them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if there's somebody on the ground? There's like a face on the ground and it looked at you right in the eyes.
I would kick them.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The person on the ground or the person walking past you?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
The double jump kick where you do a karate kick. But one's on the ground, so you have to do like a jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for watching another episode of the Hot Dogs Radio.
That's right.
I'm Dogs.
And I'm Mr. Radio.